Carlos Ramirez, owner of NVS Audio in Roselle, New Jersey. A lot of you asked me how I modify the speaker pods for the Road Glides, and my answer is normally there's tons of videos out there to show you how to do it, but for some reason either you can't find the videos or the videos don't explain it well enough, so I've been asked to do a quick video. So this is speaker pod for the Road Glide 15 through 21. When you're using a speaker with a large magnet, so 90% of the speakers on the market, they're not a drop-in fit. The ones that are a drop-in fit normally don't play that loud or don't give you a ton of mid-bass. The drop-in fit speaker that I know for a fact, no modification, is Rockford Fosgate, Arc Audio. Out of the ones we use, it would be the Hertz Neo 165. But they're good because they're weatherproof and they're drop-in fit. But all the speakers that have better performance and better mid-bass and higher power handling, you have to modify because they have a large magnet, like the Ground Zero Yellow Basket Coax. So if you try and drop the speaker in, obviously it's not going to go in because the magnet is hitting right here. So some people like to heat the pod. We don't like heating the pod because A, it distorts the plastic a lot. It's unpredictable. You could do it that way, but my issue with that is you fix one problem and cause another. If you see that little sponge right there, that's how much space you have between the pod and the fairing. So when you heat the pod to make the speaker fit, you're actually pushing the pod out a little over 1/4 inch, which causes the pod to come in contact with the fairing. So now the speaker fits, but now you're getting vibration between the speaker magnet and the pod and the fairing. So we like to cut the opening and then apply sound deadener. We use Roadkill Ultimate that has foam on the outside. That way it's foam coming in contact with the fairing, not plastic on plastic or aluminum from some of the sound deadeners and the fairing. So modifying is modifying. Whether you heat the pod or you cut the pod, you're still modifying the pod. I prefer to cut it. That way the speaker is not coming in contact with the hard plastic. Then we seal it back up with sound deadener, and then the sound deadener has a soft foam on the outside, so it's a nice cushy contact between the pod and the fairing. It's just the way we choose to do it here. So it's very simple. Drop the speaker in, take a peek to see where the magnets come in contact with the plastic. It's right here that it comes in contact with, and then you start cutting away the area slowly. There's a couple different ways to do it. You can use an air saw. You can use a cutoff wheel. The cutoff wheel probably cuts it the fastest, but it spits hot plastic. It's kind of dangerous, need eye protection, and nobody wants 200-300 degree plastic hitting their arms while they're cutting. It's really uncomfortable. I prefer to use a multi-tool. This cuts with vibration. It's probably one of the safest tools we have in the shop, and it cuts through the plastic without overheating the plastic or shooting hot plastic and debris. And it's one of the safest tools because it oscillates, and when you touch it, it actually don't get hurt. See that? It will only cut when it comes in contact with something hard. So it's literally one of the safest tools to use. You can cut yourself with the air saw. You can cut yourself with the cutoff wheel. With this one, it's safe and it cuts nice and clean and it cuts quickly. So we're just gonna start cutting away a little bit here. So I like to notch a little rectangle so I can drop the speaker in, and then I can see where I need to open it up a little bit more. You can see the magnet of the speaker there, so I have to go a little bit higher. It's not hard, you just gotta take your time. and keep working the hole until the magnet's exposed. Okay, so with the pod cut out, see how far out the speaker sticks. So if you're heating the pod, that's a pretty big stretch. So now the problem is, if you heat the pod, you're pushing the pod out that much, then you still have the material the pod's made out of. It's definitely going to come in contact with the fairing. So now, as you can see, the speaker's seated completely flat. And now we'll just deaden it, and this pod's ready to go. Stinger Roadkill Ultimate is what we like to use. Soundskins also makes a really good sound deadener with the phone. I already heated this one up, but you could heat it up with a torch or a heat gun just to make it extra sticky. Then you just lay it on, nothing fancy. Make sure it sticks really good. You can deaden the entire pod if you'd like. That's it. Hole is now repaired. Now when this comes in contact with the fairing, there will be no vibration. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and deaden the whole pod. Let's do the whole thing. Okay, so the entire pod is deadened. There's our cutout. And there's our speaker. Let's push it all the way in. Simple. Takes about 15-20 minutes to do both sides, including the deadening, and you will have much better sound.